The next thing that we're going to do with this data is that we are going to calculate the points per game for each of the players. Now I've intentionally left this blank because we're going to calculate it. And one of the things about this data is it shows for each of the points, whether it's free throws, 2 points, or 3 points, it shows how many attempts they made and it shows their percentage, but it never showed how many they actually made. And in order to calculate their points per game, we'd have to know how many points they actually made. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some calculations to draw that information from the data that's there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to calculate the free throws. So I'm going to insert a column in between the 2-point attempts and the free throw percents, that column J, and I'm going to insert a blank column there. And I'm just going to do the math to figure out how many actual free throws they made by timesing their attempts by their percentage, which will give us that number. So I'm going to type in equals, and then I'm going to click on the attempts. I'm going to times it by the percentage, and that gives us the number, 11.9999. So chances are they didn't make 11.999, they probably made 12. So we're going to have to now round that to the nearest whole number. And to do that, we're going to use another new equation called MRound. So I'm going to insert another column. And I'm going to call this free throws made, or FTM. And then I'm going to say equals. I'm going to type in MRound to get that equation there. And then I'm going to click on this cell. And now I have to tell it to what I want to round it to, and I want to round it to the nearest whole number, so I'm just going to type in 1. If I wanted to round it to the nearest 10, you type in 10. If it was the nearest 100, type in 100. But I just want it to the nearest 1. That'll round it up to what the actual number should be, which is 12. Alright, so now I've got these two equations worked out for all my data, so I'm going to copy them down right to the bottom. Okay, so I've got the decimal places here, and then I've got the actual whole numbers rounded up there. Now, I want to be able to delete this column because it doesn't mean anything, but as soon as I do that, I'm going to lose the information here. So we're going to do exactly like we did in the last part, which is we're going to copy all these values, and then we're going to paste them as the values only, and that'll get rid of that equation, but keep the numbers. So I'm going to copy this column, and I'm just going to paste it right over this column rather than create a new column and then have to delete extra stuff. So I'm just going to paste it right over top of those. Again, just the values only. And then I'm just going to delete where I got them from. And voila, we have our free throws made column. And now you're going to do the exact same thing with the 2-point assists or attempts and the 3-point attempts. And then from there, we'll be able to calculate our points per game.